The families of the service members who have lost their lives because Donald Trump started a war to distract from the Epstein files and to serve the Israeli government are calling him out, not just because he perpetrated this illegal war, but because he is profiting off of it. Donald Trump's goal is always to make as much money as possible for himself and to expand and consolidate his authoritarian project. And he is using this illegal war to do just that. And so families are calling him out as we see more Americans senselessly die to distract from Epstein and to serve the greater Israel project. It is disgusting to watch, and that is why when Donald Trump was confronted with that reality, he was attacking reporters and is now calling for them to be killed. I am dead serious in how Donald Trump is attacking in the most deadly way possible the press for calling him out, and it starts with the attack he made more broadly on Air Force One right here.
So they put out phony stories, the kamikaze boats. The kamikaze boats don't exist. They're fake. And you can almost see that when you look at them. It looks fake. Because if they did exist, we'd hit them just like we hit other boats. But they don't exist. In fact, some of the people say, where are the boats? Well, how come nobody's seen them? You know why? Because it's AI generated. It's fake. And I didn't realize this before we started, but Iran is known for a lot of fake news. And they deal with our fake news. And I actually think it's pretty criminal because our media companies, who have no credibility whatsoever, are putting out information that they know is false, and it's a very dangerous thing for the country. I think they could be in serious jeopardy.
It is the same old tired playbook again and again and again. You saw this from Carolyn Levitt attacking Caitlin Collins for saying that Americans have died unnecessarily in this war. And that is the truth. Americans have died unnecessarily in this war, which is why Carolyn Levitt was so infuriated, more infuriated that there was coverage of dead service members than the fact that they lost their lives to begin with. But it also upsets me in this moment that I recently saw a clip circulating on Twitter again of Caitlin Collins, who does a great job pressing this White House, but talking about how Donald Trump is the most accessible president in history just because he rants and rambles and screams at press conferences. There's a difference between answering questions and responding to questions to distract the media. We need our press to do better and really push Donald Trump like they should have at the end of this question before we get into his threat of that reporter.
President, you mentioned that Iran's military has been decimated economically in other ways. Are you ready to officially declare victory? Yes.
No, I don't want to do that. There's no reason to. I think I just say they're decimated.
Can you explain?
I think that we've done damage to them right now. If we left right now, it would take them 10 years and more to rebuild. But I'm still not declaring it over.
Can you explain?
Our military is incredible. The job they've done is just incredible. And the problem is that when you look at fake stories written by you people, written by and generated by AI, it's incredible. And I just wonder, like Jeff, you know that these are fake stories. Did you know that the rally of 250,000 people, the supposed rally, was fake? Did you know?
You saw the reporting on it.
He wrote about it. He talked about it. And you know it was fake. It was AI generated.
No, I didn't.
I didn't. You knew it. You knew it.
If you're not going to declare victory, and you, as a man who will always just say he won no matter what, haven't declared victory already, can someone follow up with that question and say, what's the point? What's the point, man? What is the point? Is anyone going to tell us? How long is this going to go for? Is there a real reason? Besides, again, this is what Netanyahu is demanding, and our government, both on the left, not the progressive left, but let's call it the corporate liberal left, and the right, of course, Donald Trump, have been bought out by the Israeli government. Is that the only reason that we're just serving their goals with the prospect of a greater Israel expanding their apartheid state? That's it? Because that's what it seems like right now. Donald Trump doesn't seem to care. He doesn't. He doesn't care enough even to respond in any real way to a question about the fact that he is currently fundraising off of photos from the dignified transfer that he wore merch to. And when he was asked, he just kept attacking a reporter. And guess this? Guess what? She was a woman, of course.
Your PAC put out a fundraising email a couple days ago asking for advice for using official White House photos of you at the dignified transfer. And the PAC is also offering access to secret.
Well, I was at the dignified transfer, unlike a lot of other people.
Email said your critics are saying that you're fundraising.
I didn't see it. I mean, somebody puts it up. We have a lot of people working for us, but there's nobody that's better to the military than me. And all you have to do is look at the election results, look at the kind of votes that we get, look at the poll numbers. There's nobody that's ever been higher as a president than me with the military.
Can you go on and on the ABC News?
We're one of the worst, most fake, most corrupt. You know what ABC News? I think it's maybe the most corrupt news
just put it right here.
You're much better.
Thank you, sir.
Can you explain why we're sending 5,000 Marines and sailors? Can you
You're
explain why
a very obnoxious person. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Just disgusting from Donald Trump. One, to fundraise off of such a solemn occasion that he first wore merch to, made in China, mind you, his little USA hat, and then he's trying to fundraise off of the death of service members that he doesn't even care about even more. And their families are fucking fed up. And they should be. And they're making it clear Donald Trump's response to how angry they were, unsurprising but disgusting. Family of fallen airmen rages at Trump's uncalled for war. The families of a service member killed in Donald Trump's war are pleading with the president to end the conflict in Iran the same day as he was seen golfing in West Palm Beach. The family of Tech Sergeant Tyler Simmons, 28, one of 6 American service members killed Thursday when an Air Force refueling aircraft crashed while supporting military operations in Iran, said they believe his death could have been prevented. Douglas, a family member, said, "We didn't need to be in this war. This is uncalled for, and this is what we get." Simmons' grandmother, Bernice Smith, echoed the same sentiment to NBC4. "Families are suffering right now," she said, "just to create a war because you want to create a war. It is not right." In a statement, the Simmons family encouraged the public to take their grief to the ballot box in November. "Our hearts are saddened beyond measure to learn of 6 more airmen being killed last night," the family said in a written statement. "One of them is our beloved Tyler Simmons. Tyler's smile could light up any room. His strong presence would fill it. His parents, grandparents, family, and friends are grief-stricken for the loss of life." They went on, "Vote for Tyler and the 5 others who lost their lives recently, and for all those serving our country," the statement reads. "They are heroes who are loved and will be missed. Praying for Tyler, his fellow airmen, his family, and we pray for the United States to do better and be better." When Donald Trump was asked about those who he sent to die, he didn't say anything.
Do you have a comment on the 6 service members?
Go ahead. Who else?
Well, what do you want to see in the deal? Because earlier you said reportedly that.
Well, you start off with there will be no nuclear weapons. That's where it starts. And then on top of that, there's plenty of things that we're going to get. Thank you very much.
Anything about Israel?
He wouldn't even dignify the loss of life that he caused with an answer. He said, "I'm not responding to you." And again, no surprise that the journalist asking was a woman who Donald Trump attacked. He said, "I'm not even going to respond to you. I'm not even going to respond to you." Donald Trump doesn't feel like he has to. Doesn't feel like he has to answer that question. In fact, he doesn't want to answer any questions at all. And anyone reporting currently on Donald Trump's illegal war, he wants to threaten into submission. Donald Trump wrote in a lengthy Truth Social post that anyone in the fake news that is sharing stories that Donald Trump likes should be brought up on charges for treason, for the dissemination of false information. Donald Trump is saying reporters should be charged with treason. Donald Trump is quite literally threatening the lives of reporters, saying he will try them for treason for just doing their job. I don't think his illegal war effort, is going too well when you have to threaten journalists and call them treasonous. And no one's buying this, and no one should. It feels like the only people buying this message somehow are a few Democrats who want to go along with this, who feel like they have to, which is ridiculous. Maybe it's because they are so bought into the propaganda. These are Democrats in our government. This isn't the base. That they say, well, we just have to fund this war at this point. But someone who is actually being a real patriot right now and standing up to that, Ro Khanna, he offered a different solution, and he offered it up on Fox of all places.
Are you saying, though, that Iran should have just been allowed to continue enriching uranium? I mean, through their actions and even their statements in this negotiation, they were not going to give that up.
Absolutely not. They should not be nuclear. But we had the JCPOA that had their enrichment down to about 3.6%. We could have had, through Oman, tougher sanctions and negotiation. The Oman
but even
mediators
Democrats
were
acknowledged
saying
that was just putting off the eventuality of them getting a weapon, not blocking it entirely. I mean, Democrats have accepted that.
Well, putting off for 15 years. That's what the JCPOA would have done. And then you could have had tougher negotiation in terms of making sure they didn't have missiles. But there was no imminent threat. Now there's a threat to the United States. We've created a threat. There were no ICBMs that Iran could launch here.
I believe they said they had the material to make 11 bombs.
But they couldn't reach the American homeland. I mean, everyone acknowledges they don't have ICBMs. Now we've put our troops at risk. 13 Americans are dead. And I hope we can end this war. I just want the president to declare victory, end the war. I don't want more Americans dying. I don't want $2 billion a day going into the Middle East. We were dragged into this war in a way that isn't helping the American people. People, you know what they talk about in my district around the country? How are my kids going to get jobs?
We created this war. We created a threat that Donald Trump now wants us to spend at least $50 billion fighting back against. We cannot entertain this cycle. This is insane. It is unjustifiable. And any Democrat who votes to fund this war, this illegal war, who seeks to legitimize it because of some sunk cost fallacy, oh, well, Donald Trump started it. Well, I guess we're being dragged into it. No. Use your power. Do not play powerless in this moment. Ro Khanna is a patriot. We need more Democrats like him. We are going to continue to call out anyone in this party who is going along with this illegal war.